Unit 12, John Dryden's All for Love. The subtitle of the play All for Love is The World Well Lost. Is a heroic drama appeared in the year 1677. The well-known best play written by John Dryden. It is a tragedy written in blank verse, and it is an attempt on John Dryden's part to reinvigorate serious drama. It is acknowledged as an imitation of Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra as well as Julius Caesar. The last hours of the hero and the heroine in Antony and Cleopatra reflects the play The All for the Love. The play first appeared in the year 1677, was revived in 1704, and the play was performed 123 times between 1700 to 1800. Biography of John Dryden. He was born in Northamptonshire, England on August 9, 1631. John Dryden came from a landowning family with connections to Parliament and the Church of England. He studied as a King's Scholar at the prestigious Westminster School of London. Dryden published his first poem in 1649. He enrolled at Trinity College in Cambridge. The following year, he likely studied the classics, rhetoric, and mathematics. He obtained his BA in 1654, graduating first class. In June of the year, Dryden's fathers died. After graduation, Dryden found work with Oliver Cromwell's Secretary of State, John Througholt, marking a radical shift in the poet's political view. Dryden was present at Cromwell's funeral in 1658. Dryden celebrated the regime of King Charles II with Astraea Redux, a royalist panegyric in praise of the new king. Despite this, Dryden quickly established himself after the Restoration as a leading poet and literary critic of his day. He published to His Sacred Majesty a panegyric on his coronation, to my Lord Chancellor, and so on. As a playwright, Dryden published The Wild Gallant in the year 1663, and his best known dramatic works are Marriage L'Amour, All for Love. Both are written in blank verse. And his other famous works are the dramatic poesy, the essay on dramatic poesy, which is considered to be the largest critical work that piece takes form of dialogue among the characters debating and defending international dramatic works. Followed by he has written another famous work, Macflurknock, a work satiric attacking on Thomas Shadwell's. And he has written Absalom and Achitophel and the Medal. These are all the works written by John Dryden. And he died on May 1, 1700, and was initially buried in St. Anthony's Cemetery. And in 1710, he was moved to Poets' Corner of Westminster Abbey, where as a memorial has been erected. Let us explain the act-wise summary of the play. The Act 1 introduces the two characters, the two priests of the temple of Isis. Their names are Serpion and Myris. They have been frightening about ill omens in Egypt. The water of the Nile overflowed, monstrous seals and the sea horses coming out of it. And Serpion was walking in the temple of the Plotion and says that something is going to happen to Egypt, because he could actually see that the tombs are open and the bodies came out. That means the corpses are coming out. So the evil sound, an evil cry is coming out. So he roars that Egypt is no more, Egypt is no more. On the other side, suddenly Alexax, one of the trusted maiden of Queen Cleopatra, who is a eunuch, that means a transgender, appears and accuses Serpion of making up stories and drinking too much of the feast. He says that Egypt cannot bear these stories to be true. But the true priest says that something is going to happen to Egypt. Meanwhile, Antony has locked himself in the temple and refuses to see Cleopatra, hoping to cure himself of his love for her. Serpion Myrus's fear for Egypt's future as a Roman province if they are defeated and hope that Cleopatra might betray Antony to Octavius. I'm sorry. However, they all know that Cleopatra still loves Antony. Just then, Alexas, Serpion, Myrus witness the approach of Ventidius, one of Antony's top lieutenants. Alexas assures them that Ventidius is an impeccably honored man. Although he has been an enemy of Egypt in the past, Ventidius demands that Antony's gentleman let him to see Antony. But they are not allowing Ventidius to meet Antony. Ventidius assures him that this is just Antony's nature, which tends to move between extremes. Because Ventidius knows the attitude and the behavior and the reactions of Antony. Antony lost the battle, so Ventidius knows how he moves when he is in disappointment. So Alexas proclaims a birthday celebration for Antony, and the servants begin to prepare a feast. Ventidius protests at the Egyptians taking a holiday at the dire moment. He laments that Antony, a great general, has left his military post and become a woman's toy. Here, the word woman refers Cleopatra. Antony comes out of his room and demands that everyone leaves him alone. Ventidius hides in a corner to listen to his master speak, pacing with a disturbed motion. Antony speaks in despair about the decline of his fortune since he came to Egypt, where he has become only the shadow of an empire. At this juncture, Ventidius appears from his hiding place and demands, "You, Antony, tell him to leave." But Ventidius weeps and says that he wishes to stay as a friend. Moved by Ventidius' tears, Antony begins to share his grief at his loss at the Battle of Actium. Ventidius points out that Julius Caesar also lost battles, but Antony confesses that he is ashamed that he fled like a coward. Antony begins reapproaching himself for losing his good name as a soldier and conqueror by spending his time instead in Galerius East. Indirectly, Antony attacks Cleopatra. He has lost the battle because of Cleopatra. Ventidius tries to console him by saying that he is a great soldier and he is good in army and he is good in battle, and loss is even happens in the life of the great soldiers. Antidius angrily calls Ventidius a traitor and threatens him to kill him, but quickly apologizes. Ventidius says that he would not be bold with any other ruler, but that Antony is virtuous enough to able to hear these hard truths. Ventidius repeats that Antony must leave Cleopatra, and Antony agrees, although he says he loves her all above else. In Act 2, Cleopatra is in despair at the news that Antony is leaving her. Alexas counsels her to calm down, but Cleopatra says that only low-born people have moderate sadness. Cleopatra's maid Iras tells her to stop loving Antony, but Cleopatra says she can never forget him. Cleopatra's other maid Charmion comes and reports he encounters with Antony. He had tears in his eyes. When she said, Cleopatra begged to see him one last time, but refused to see her on the grounds that he can refuse her nothing and thus would not able to live. Antony enters with the Antidius. He reports that he challenged Octavius to hand contact, but Octavius refused. Antony complains that Octavius is a coward who betrayed him after all his help and mentorship. On the other hand, Cleopatra sends Antony a bracelet made of rubies in the shape of bleeding hearts. Ventidius wants him not to take it, but Antony says that he does not think it can do any harm on him. Alexas petitions Antony to see Cleopatra one last time so that she can fasten the bracelet on his wrist. Ventidius warns him that if he sees her, all will be lost. Yes, of course, Ventidius knows that if Antony meets Cleopatra, then he never come back to Alexandria. He will remain in Egypt itself. That is why actually Ventidius wants Antony not to encourage the words of Alexas and not to wear the bracelet which is sent by Cleopatra. Even though actually he actually wears it and he decided and he actually just tells a word that he would. Meanwhile, Ventidius arranges a peace talk between Octavius and Antony actually. And he pardoned her rebellion against Rome and he left his first wife Fulvia to be with her in Egypt. After Fulvia's death, he married Octavia Caesar Octavia as his second wife actually. Now he is in love with Cleopatra. As a result, Octavia raised an army and defeated him in the disastrous battle of Actium, where the Antony fled. The first scene that happened in the end of Antony and Cleopatra. Cleopatra acknowledges that he is right to reapproach her, but sorrowfully says that Antony must not longer love her. If he would say these things, she admits that she was Caesar's lovers first, but claims that she always loved Antony. She also protests that she did not force Antony to love Fulvia or Octavia, and that she fled from the battle out of fear, not because she was trying to betray him. She also protests pathetically and she only wants to die. At this, Antony embraces her, although Ventidius warned him not to weigh this toy against his honor. But again, he falls in the trap of Cleopatra, in the love trap of Cleopatra. Cleopatra court performs an elaborate dance. Cleopatra crowns Antony, and Antony reaffirms his love for her. Ventidius stands aside, and everybody is watching. Antony admits his presence makes himself feel ashamed, but boasts himself that he has won military victory against Octavius. Ventidius again actually tells that he is good friend of him, and go on the side of Octavius, not on the side of Cleopatra. Then Dolabella comes and he meets Antony and they reunion in an emotional way. Antony laments that he is now other than I am. This is how he actually shows his gratitude and friendship to Dolabella. Antony relates by telling some truth of his own. He asked Dolabella to recall the first time he saw Cleopatra sailing on an elaborately decorated barge down the river. They recalls what happens, how he actually met Cleopatra, and why he has come to Egypt. So everything has been recalled by Dolabella and Antony. Octavia, Antony's abandoned wife and Octavius Caesar's sister, enters with Antony two small daughters and begs Antony to come along with him. Antony accuses Octavia for having begged his case with Octavia, but Octavia denies that, saying that she would never demand, but her children wants the father. So Antony, the sense of honor by bringing his two daughters with whom he was moving reunion. So Antony is going along with Octavia for the two children and also for Octavia. So this news reaches Cleopatra that once again Antony has gone along with Octavia. So now the conversation happens between Octavia and Cleopatra, the conflict authority between uh, the righteous, the legal Antony's wife. Cleopatra argues that her claim on him is stronger because it is based on love rather than the law. But Octavia says that she is having law and as well as law. So both argument are being done, and outside choosing loving or honor on him by Octavia as well as Cleopatra. In the fourth act of the scene, Antony's mixed messages to Cleopatra suggest that he is still deeply affected by his passion for her. But even though he is one choosing to leave her because he loves the children as well as Octavia, but he loves truly Cleopatra. So this statement, it would break his heart if she took another lover, suggests that he expects Cleopatra to remain the same. Dolabella explains that Antony's choice of love over honor is particularly disastrous in the case because his private emotions have political consequences. Although Cleopatra is depicted as a seductress and prostitute by her critics, especially in Antony and Cleopatra as well as in Caesar, in Julius Caesar, she marries Julius Caesar, and who has become the queen of actually the Roman Empire. Only after seeing actually Antony, she fell in love with that. So she has been criticized very severely by many actually critics. Even though she loved Antony very deeply, and she expressed it very clearly in all her places, even in the presence of Dolabella and in Ventidius. In fact, that Cleopatra was the lover of Julius Caesar before Antony, but she projects that she remains lover of Antony. Throughout the play, Antony has been unable to conceal or suppress his passionate feeling because he is on both sides, Octavius as well as Cleopatra. He finds an unexpected affection from Dolabella as well as the Ventidius. In the last act of the scene, Cleopatra blames Alexas for the failure of her tragedy to recapture Antony's love. Alexas responds with a clever gambit. He claims that he doesn't have an authority to be blamed for anything. Sorry. One of the costs of absolute power is absolute responsibility. Now she sends a false message that Cleopatra has committed suicide and she wants to die only with Antony. Her life in the world seems increasingly of less meaning and importance to her. So this news actually reaches the ears of Antony, and Antony actually disappointed, and he could not actually tolerate the news of the thing. Meanwhile, already he has been defeated by Octavius in the battle of Actium by his own wife as well as by his actually friend Octavius Caesar. So he cannot actually tolerate all those things, and he knows that if it is continuous, then it will become a civil war on both the sides. So he will be a traitor to as well as Octavius Caesar and as well as to Cleopatra, and Antony cannot remain loyal either to Octavia or to Cleopatra. This is what has happened in the thing. So as the news reaches, both Antony has decided to commit suicide, but as a king he cannot commit suicide. So he says Ventidius to kill him actually, but Ventidius has no mind to kill his own leader, so he kills himself. So Antony actually commits suicide on his own actually. So that news actually reaches the ears of Cleopatra, who takes the ass and who actually commits suicide on the same. Finally, Octavius Caesar arranges a great funeral for both Antony as well as Cleopatra, who has been buried in the same place. This is how the play ends. So in the summary, you can understand that Antony and Octavius have defeated Julius Caesar, and Octavius Caesar has become a new ruler for the Rome, And Antony has become a new ruler for Alexandria, who fell in love with Cleopatra, who is the queen of Egypt, and who has been advised by Ventidius Dolabella not to actually follow the words of Cleopatra, but he traps. But that means due to that, Octavius Caesar, they defeated actually Antony in the Battle of Actium. So that actually disappointed them, and Antony stayed in Egypt, and Octavia come along with his children and calls her husband to come, not for her but for the children. So he takes actually, and he get back to that. So Cleopatra tried to actually get back Antony to Egypt with many actually tricks, but all the tricks has fallen down. Finally, Alexas has just sent a message that Cleopatra has committed suicide. So that news actually makes Antony to kill himself actually. Antony tells Ventidius to kill him, but Ventidius refuses, killing himself instead actually. So this is one of the best example for friendship actually. So finally, Antony falls on his sword and shows his breast, and he commits suicide on his own. So that news reaches, the death news of Antony reaches the ears of Cleopatra. Cleopatra gets a poisonous snake called Asp, and who allowed to suck his breast, and who dies because of the poisonous snake. So both have been buried in the same place. Both have been honored by Octavius Caesar at the funeral. And these are the key terms which help you to understand the technical terms used in the text. And these are the terminal questions. Thank you.